Do you use the audio facility in Padlet and get your students to record themselves speaking? Or perhaps get your students to use a webcam and to record themselves on the webcam in a Padlet? Do you ever get your students perhaps to draw into a Padlet? Or perhaps do you ever make use of the map and get students to add different things onto the map? Perhaps places they visited around the world, perhaps where they were born, perhaps the place they would like to go. Have you ever used a timeline, a great technology for getting students to work either collaboratively on their own? They can add information, pictures, video, webcam, audio, etc. Have you ever used the comments button to get the students to add comments once different students have added up their contributions? Students can listen or read what they've said or comment on it or even mark it or grade it. Have you ever embedded a Padlet into a different website, into a blog or onto Moodle or onto Edmodo? I'm going to show you all these things. It's going to take you from being a basic user of Padlet to using more of the advanced features, including how to archive Padlets so you can use more when you're working with the free tool. I've been working with Padlet since it was called Woolwisher. I even did some work for the organization. I'm going to take you through some of the key features. There's also a way of navigating to different sections. If you go down to the description, if you want to move to a different part of the video. Let's get started, and as always, if you like the video, please like it, please share it with other teachers, and I'd love you to comment on it and tell me which of the features do you like the best, or perhaps there's another feature that I haven't showed you today that you like. Please put that in the comments. Let's get started. Now, if you're not familiar with Padlet, then on the screen now there's a video. You can click on it and it will take you to a video that takes you to a basic introduction to working with Padlet, as this video is really for more advanced features. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to add audio to Padlets. A lot of teachers, when I do the training, don't realize that you can do this, and actually audio works really well and it's very simple. So we're going to click on Make a Padlet. I will be showing you some of the more interesting Padlet types later, but for this one we just do a grid. We click on here, select the Padlet. The first thing you want to do is just write very quickly a title and a quick description. So I'm just going to delete that and I'll stop the video while I do this. So once you've written your little introduction, it's often something I use for doing when students meet each other for the first time online, to get them to record themselves, talking about themselves and introducing to themselves. Click on Next, click on Start Posting, and now people can start to post. All you need to do is share this link with the students, okay? If I double click on the screen and then I click here and I choose audio recording, and all I need to do is to make sure first of all that my microphone is connected, so I can see that my microphone is connected. Very simple. And then click on this button here and start to record my voice. So, hi, my name's Russell Stannard. I run the website called teachertrainingvideos.com. I was previously a university lecturer at the University of Warwick and the University of Westminster. These days I work as a consultant. Stop. If you're happy with your recording, you can notice discard and restart, but if you click here, play back and save, you can now check that you're happy with the recording. Let's just play it back and check it works. Here, and start to record my voice. So that's working perfect. Once I'm happy with it, don't bother to put the site title here. It's a really useful tip. Just click on Save and actually write the title at the top. I always put it above it. So if you just click here, just before you click on Publish, just put Russell Says Hello or whatever it is, then click on Publish, and now your audio is recorded with a nice title, and if you play that you'll be able to hear it. Here, and start to record my voice. So, hi, my... Okay, so that's how you do audio, and of course other students could come on the screen, click on the screen themselves, click here, and of course they can add their audio. So very quickly you can get a collection of recordings together on the screen. Now, a really interesting thing that you can do once you've got your students to add their audio onto the screen, and you can see some examples here, is just come up to this button here, click here, and come down and turn on comments. Okay, so comments will normally be off, but turn comments on. Now, why is that such a good thing? Once you've done that, click on close. It means now that students can listen to what other people have said and then leave comments or questions underneath. So this is an exercise that I often do. I get my students to add up an audio file introducing themselves or talking about a topic. Then after, I turn on the comments by coming up to the top here, clicking on this button here, scrolling down, coming to comments and turning it on. And that way that students can listen to other people's comments and then leave a question to ask them about what they've said. Can work really well, or they can respond to what the people have said if it's perhaps sharing opinions. So I love this idea of turning on comments, but not at the beginning, only after everyone has added up their audio, and then there's like a stage 2 when they can then add their comments. So the students have to go back to the Padlet, listen to what other people have said, and then add their comments, and that's so effective. Now I'm just going to spend a little bit of time looking at some of the options in terms of the types of content you add up, and I'm going to show you a great little trick. So I'm going to click on this one here, Canvas, because there's some quite clever things that you can do with Canvas. Again, I'm just going to write in very quickly the title and the description. So I've done that. I'm going to click on start posting. Now I'm going to show you some of the other formats. So I'm going to double click on the screen, and the first one we're going to do is, obviously we know that we can upload something from our computer. That's a really easy one to do. We can just quickly grab a picture and upload that into the screen. That's one possibility. Give it a subject. So I'm going to call this Russell, and then publish. Let's have a look at some other formats. So I'm going to click here, click over to here, and we've got some really interesting ones. One obvious one that we can do is video recorder. Click on this button. It's going to turn on your webcam. There I am on the screen. I'm just going to record a couple of seconds. Hi, good to see you all. Hope that this video is useful to you. Click on stop. Click on playback and save. You don't really need to write the title here. You can do, if you write, you can just say Russell says hello if you want to. But what I normally do is click on save, and I need to wait. It will always take a while for that to process. I tend to add my title here at the top, Russell says hello, rather than underneath, and then click on publish. Of course you can do that. So now suddenly we've got a webcam on there, we've got a picture on there. Is there anything else that we can do? So let's look at some more formats. We're going to click again onto the screen. Okay, so we know another option we got is to take a photo. Again, this is with the webcam. So if you click on that button, it's going to turn the camera on your webcam. There it is again. I can just click on the button and it's going to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. And then again, click on save. You've got a few options here. You can put it sepia, grayscale. If you want it in black and white, click on save. Again, always give it a while. Okay, I'm going to put here add a picture. You can write something underneath if you want to. Click on publish, and now we've got a picture on the screen. Can we do even more? Yes, there's lots we can do. Double click onto the screen. Let's look at a few more formats. So we're going to make some space. Come on, we've looked at picture. We're going to click here. We can draw on the screen. So if we click on drawing, okay, then we can just click here. We can draw something. We can change the color as well. Okay, I'm not very good at drawing, particularly when I'm only working with my, we can rub things out. I think you just touch them afterwards. Oh no, sorry, you don't. You have to go right through it. Okay, so you can actually erase things as well. Again, click on save. And we're going to call this drawing. And then publish. Okay, let's just do a couple more. So if we double click onto the screen again. This one we've looked at. This is obviously showing a link. If I come to this one here, just to point out, very useful is YouTube. And when you work with YouTube, what you can do is you can search here. So for example, if I was going to search for, let's say, Chelsea Football Club, okay, if I was going to find a video about Chelsea Football Club, and lots of videos come up, and I choose this particular one, I just click on it. That video will again embed onto the screen. I can again write the subject, my team, for example, and click on publish. So there's so many different things that we can add to the content. Just a really quick break from the video. I hope you're enjoying the video, and if you are, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos that you can access. You can also find out about all my courses. They're always advertised on the opening page. And please sign up to the newsletter. If you sign up to the newsletter, you get updated with all the blog posts, the webinars, the online courses, and the videos. And at the moment, if you sign up, there is a 12-part free video course in using technology in teaching. And I send you a video about every 5 days. Let's get back to the video. Now, another format that teachers often find tricky is to use the map format. So let's look at that. Often when I do the training, the teachers really struggle with this. So let's just quickly go through how you can use the map format. So the first thing about the map format is that you can move in and out. So if you need to come in closer, you can do that. You can click here as well. It kind of repositions it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into here. I'm going to move the map up. I can do that by just holding my mouse down and moving the map and moving it around. I want to come in close here to London, okay? And I'm going to just, on this map here, I'm going to click now on this point here, and I've got two ways of doing this. And the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this point onto the screen, and I'm going to just drop it around about here, okay? And then it's going to offer me different options, and I'm going to choose Mitcham UK, and I'm going to write something now about Mitcham. I'm going to click UK. I'm going to say I went to school in Mitcham, and then click on publish. So one way is to drag the pointer. Let's just try and do it again. So again, I can just drag the pointer onto a particular place like here. It's going to offer me lots of options. I can choose the right one. In this case, I'm going to use the London Borough of Croydon. Okay, and I'm going to say, I used to go shopping in Croydon, for example. Okay, not particularly exciting, but you can see exactly how I can do it. So now I've got these 2 points, and if you notice that you can click and it will bring up the text that you've added. Now there is another way of working as well. You can click here and start by writing the name of the place. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write another place. So I'm going to write the area, for example, let's do Crawley. Okay, and then I can choose again from the different places, the different options. And then I'm going to click, in fact, let's click somewhere much further away. So we're going to do Seville, because it will show you what will happen to the map. Okay, Seville, Spain. Notice now what's going to happen is that I'm just going to write something. I'm going to write, I worked in Seville. Okay, I'm going to publish that. And what you'll notice now, if we minus out the map, because obviously we've come right into Seville, we can now see at a much further distance that we've got information about Seville. We've also got information about Mitcham and information about the London Borough of Croydon. So I can build this map up. Now, of course, the important thing to remember, and let's just come in a little bit closer here, okay? I'm going to just do one more example. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag something onto the screen about here. That will do. It's kind of, because I've not come in close enough, it's just estimating, okay, rather than giving me a specific what are you pinning. So here I can choose the sort of location. Now if I'm not happy with that and I need to delete it, then just click on here and I think it will delete. Okay, so I would normally come in quite close, because when you come in closer it gives you the map, and you can then therefore see where you want to go. So I'm going to bring on again. I'm going to drop this on here, because now I want to say that I studied, let me get the right area, that's it, just outside of here, that's it, yep. So I'm going to click here and say okay, that's correct, and I'm going to just now of course I'm going to write I studied French here. Notice of course that I could do all the things that I can do with other Padlets. I could click here and add video, add screen recorder. We're going to look at some of these in a minute. Okay, what we're going to do now is just add a quick video recording. So I'm going to click here and it's going to turn on my camera. There you can see me on the screen. I'm going to just record myself just for a little while. So click here. Yeah, I studied French a couple of times actually. I went to France and I studied in a language school. Okay, I'm going to click on playback and save. I don't need to write in the title here. Just click on save, because what will happen is you've got the title at the top anyway. Just always wait whenever you record, for example, a webcam or something, then it does actually require quite a lot of time to get ready, and then I click on publish. Okay, so now I've added a webcam. So you really can, and again, let's just move out now. So we've added lots of things onto our screen. We've got Seville, we've got the webcam, we've got some writing here, etc. I love this. And again, for example, if you've got an international group, students can show where they were born or where they live, or they can talk about a particular place. This could be great for speaking activities. Let's imagine, for example, that we want our students to practice the language. Perhaps we say to them, choose any place and just record yourself talking about it. Now, there are some really interesting formats that a lot of times teachers don't use because they're not aware of them. I'm going to click on Make Padlet, and the first one that we're going to focus on is working with Timeline. So I'm going to click here and just go through how the Timeline one works. Okay, so we're going to give it a quick title in the description. So I've added in a quick title. I'm going to click on Next. I'm going to click on Start Posting. Now notice that you've got this plus button here, and if you click on that, what you can do is you can write your subject at the top. So I'm going to say, for example, so I'm talking about my career. I'm going to say 1987, trained as a teacher. Now what I can do now is just write a little bit about that. So I've written a little bit of detail about myself, I've put a title, and I'm going to click on publish. So immediately I've now added something onto the timeline. Now it's very easy for me to add something before or after. So I'm going to click here again, but we're going to try a different way this time. So this one we're going to put working in Spain, and this time I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on audio recording, and I'm going to do a quick audio recording. I'll just do a very quick one. I started to work in Spain in 1988. I moved to Seville and I actually lived there for 11 years. Stop. Again, click on playback and save. Don't put the title there, just click on save and you'll see that the title that you wrote originally is still going to be there, and click on publish. So now you have an audio, and again notice you can now add either before or after. So really easy to build up a timeline, and of course this timeline could include lots of things. So let's say presenting, and if I want to I could click here. Don't forget you have lots of options here, for example to add links, to even go to YouTube. So I'm going to just do a quick click here, and what I can do is I can actually search. Now I'm going to search on YouTube, so I'm just going to put in it on YouTube here. Okay, I'm just going to search, so I'm going to put Russell Stannard. It's going to write my name. Hopefully it's going to be able to find some videos of mine. There they come up onto the screen, and I can, for example, add one of these onto the screen. Let's just put this one up on here, for example. And now I've actually added a video of mine onto the screen. So you can even use, and again, remember to write the title here at the top. It always looks really nice. Click on publish, and now you've added a video. So you really are not restricted. Here we've got a bit of writing, here we've got a bit of audio, here we've now connected to a video from YouTube. Now I'm going to click on one more and just show you one more option. Don't forget we can also click on take a photo. Okay, we can also upload a document, we can share a link. So there's lots of things. If we've got something, for example, that we want to share, then we can do that, and maybe it's a picture. So let's click here, and I'm just going to quickly jump over and just grab a picture, perhaps me presenting. So let's just perhaps grab one of these ones. I'm sure I can find a, sorry, that's not the right one. Let's just quickly find a picture, Russell, and I just click on a picture of me presenting. This one's here because they're nice and small. Click on that and then click on open, and then now I can put something up on the screen here. I can say presenting, and I remember this was in Greece. and I can publish that. So I can build up a whole timeline, perhaps by writing in the date as well of when that particular thing happened. I haven't done that, I did that with the first one. But you can see that this timeline idea is really powerful. And notice that you can always add more objects to the timeline at any point. It always offers you the opportunity to fill in an extra thing. A great technology to use, or a great form of Padlet to use, either individually or as groups. It's nice to do group-based activities as well using the timeline. Now, most people think that you can only have in the free account 3 or 5, depending, free Padlets. Actually, what you can do is archive some of them. Let me give you a quick example. If I come down to here, let's say I don't want to delete this Padlet. So I need to make some room for some more Padlets. I click here and I click on archive. Now when you archive a Padlet, you haven't deleted it. If you come down to your archives, that Padlet is still here. But what it means is it's not live to use. So what you can do if you want to unarchive it because you want to suddenly use it again is simply click on unarchive. So it's really useful to do that because that way you can actually have more Padlets, and if you use up your number you can archive some of them, and that way then you've got those Padlets free again. Now there is another tool called Wakelet that in some ways works quite similar to Padlet, and there are no restrictions on using Wakelet. It is a completely free tool, and I'm going to put a link on the screen now in case you want to learn more about Wakelet. But I'm also going to point out one other thing. If we just open up one of the Padlets onto the screen, so I'm going to come back to my made Padlets and we'll just open up this one here. Another thing that you can do with Padlets is you can come down to here, and you can, if you want to, in fact it's the share button, sorry, come down to here and you can save the Padlet as an image or as a PDF file. And that means if the Padlet that you've done is written based or it's got images on it, you can then save it, and that way again you can delete that Padlet, and then you've freed up a Padlet that you can use with another group. Obviously if the Padlet's got audio in it, then saving it as an image or saving it as a PDF won't work. But if it's written or if it's visual pictures, then that is another option. Now another great thing that you can do with Padlet is that you can embed your Padlets really easily. If you go over to the share button here and you come down, you can copy a link if you want to share that, but one of the other possibilities is embed it into your blog or your website. So I'm going to click here. All I need to do is to copy that code. Now I'm going to jump over to my website. And this could be a blog, this could be a website, this could be Moodle, this could be Edmodo, anywhere that you can embed content. I'm going to double click on the screen. I'm using something called Google Sites. I click on this embed code. Make sure that you choose embed code. You're not using the URL, you want to use the embed code. Paste in that embed code and click on next, and then click on insert, and you'll find that that is then embedded, and you can even in a lot of these systems stretch it out and make it a little bit bigger. So you can easily embed your Padlet into almost anything. Remember, all you need to do, just to remind you again, close that, is come up to share, and the one that you're choosing is bed into your blog or website, and then copy that, and then you should be able to paste that into most systems. It will go into Moodle, it will go into Edmodo, it will go into Google Classroom, it will go into Google Sites, etc. Great way of taking something that you've created and embedded it so that it can be shared with other people. Now I'm going to show you a couple of final features, and particularly one of them that's really important is that you can moderate Padlets. You can control what students write, and you can make sure that they've written something appropriate before you decide to actually make the content public. So if you click on make a Padlet, and we'll choose grid to keep it really simple, and we won't bother to fill in anything, but what we will do is scroll down here, and I'm just going to point out some of the other options. The first one I want to point out, we've already looked at comments, but you've also got the option of reactions, and if you click here you can get students to like the Padlets or to vote on the Padlets, or to star the Padlets, or to grade the Padlets, and you can choose the grade you want. We're going to leave that one on. So that's one option, to grade the Padlet. The other interesting option here, if we come down here, is that we've got replace bad words with nice emojis. You can do that if you're worried about what students might write, but more importantly, you can click on this button, require approval. This is the one I want to show you working now. So we're going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to click on next and click on start posting. If you forget to do that and suddenly you want to do it halfway through doing the Padlet, don't forget you can just click here and come back down to all of those settings again, and you've got the moderation one. Now what I'm going to do is just show you how this would work. So if I now share this Padlet and log in as a student, so I'm going to copy this Padlet, and I'm now logged in as a student. I'm going to click on the screen and I'm going to write Thomas, and then I'm going to say, hello, I hope all is okay. Okay, just really quick note, click on submit. Of course I could share pictures. Notice it says awaiting approval. In fact, no other student will see this on their screen. Thomas will see what he's written, but he also won't be able to see what the other students have written because it's waiting for approval from the teacher. Now if we come back to the teacher's view, you'll notice that it's here two options. We can either approve what Thomas has written, in which case it will then become public, or we can remove it. So we've got both choices. That moderation option is really useful if you're working with younger learners, or you're slightly worried about what people have write and you might think they will do something inappropriate. Then that is another option. So I've just added one more onto the screen. Again, I'm going to approve it. I just approved the other one just a couple of moments before, and now I'm going to grade them. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to give Fred 82, and I'm going to give Thomas 82 as well. Okay, so I can actually grade, or the students can grade each other's work. And of course there are other options, as I said, like adding stars. The one I like the most, though, I must admit, is comments. And you are able to do both. So if you come down to here and you wanted both to have marking and comments, that is a possibility. So you're not limited, for example, for students to just simply add a grade. They can also add a comment as well, which kind of works well if you're going to get the students, for example, to evaluate each other's work. Really hoped you liked that video. Please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free content, and you can see all of my courses on the opening page. Don't forget to sign up to the newsletter. That way you get updated with all the latest blog posts, the webinars, the latest videos and the courses. Of course, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the bell. That way you'll get all the updates. And finally, if you do want to contact me, perhaps about doing a conference or doing some training with your organization, you can contact me from the website. Thank you very much. Really hope you found that video useful. I'm now going to add some more videos on the screen for teachers about using technology.